Have you ever received a text so casual it felt like a slap delivered on a pillow? My name is Sloan Hart, and I swear the emoji that followed the word tight was a champagne flute. I grew up in a town where the water smells faintly of rust and the welcome sign still brags about a 1993 state football championship. Nobody remembers except the men who peaked under stadium lights. Dad sold cars he could not afford to drive. Mom kept the books for a dentist who believed flossing prevented communism. I have one sibling, Cassidy, younger by 4 years, taller by 3 inches, louder by 1,000 decibels. Cassidy was the kid who could sell sand in the desert and come back with a tip jar. By 16, she had 3 phones, one for parents, one for friends, one for business. Never asked what the business was because answers from Cassidy came wrapped in glitter and smoke. I escaped by studying. Scholarships, night classes, double shifts at a daycare that paid in graham crackers and minimum wage. Met my husband there, Eli, the quiet guy who fixed broken cribs and smelled like sawdust and kindness. We married young, broke, and happy, which is the best kind of happy if you ask me. Cassidy was 20 when Lila was born, already sporting lashes longer than my patience, and a boyfriend, whose name changed monthly. She called herself Fun Aunt, showed up with sugar highs and dollar store tiaras, then disappeared before the crash. I loved her the way you love fireworks, at a distance with a bucket nearby. Years pass. Eli builds custom furniture in our garage. I teach 2nd grade. We have 2 kids now, Lila turning 9, Milo turning 6. Budget is tight, but tight is relative when you have cereal and Netflix. We plan a joint backyard party, unicorn cake from a mix, balloons from Dollar Tree, bunting Eli cuts from grocery sacks. Lila wants a real mermaid tail, so she can swim on land. I find a sequined pillowcase, sew it into a slip-on tail, add glitter that will haunt our washer forever. Total cost, $12 and 1 burnt finger. Milo wants a dinosaur that roars. I YouTube a cardboard template. Paint it teal because we ran out of green, stick a bike horn inside. Total cost, $0 and 1 sprained wrist from cutting corrugated cardboard with dull scissors. The kids are thrilled. I am exhausted. Eli kisses the burnt finger and says, "We are rich in effort." I believe him until my phone buzzes. Text from mom, group chat, 11:42 p.m., 3 weeks before party. Hey guys, money is super tight right now. We are going to skip the kid's birthday this year. Hope you understand. I stare at the flute emoji like it might explain itself. Tight, I think, is skipping Starbucks. Tight is not flying to Europe. Tight is not a champagne icon next to a sentence canceling a child. I type no problem because arguing through text is like trying to staple water. I add a smiley face so she can sleep. Then I screenshot it, send it to Eli, and we sit in silence that tastes like pennies. Next morning, Mom posts a photo on Facebook, her and Cassidy at brunch. Bottomless mimosas, avocado toast stacked like Jenga. Location tag. The Glass Swan, finest bubbles in town. The timestamp is 47 minutes after the text. I do the math in my head. 1 toast equals 3 dinosaur bike horns. 1 mimosa equals a mermaid tail. I comment, looks fun. Then delete it because pettiness is a mirror that shows your own cracked face. I screenshot the post instead, drop it into a folder labeled tight, and try to forget. Week passes. Cassidy uploads an Instagram story. New Balenciaga sneakers. Neon orange, price tag still swinging like a tongue. She captions it. Retail therapy hits different when adulting is hard. I Google the shoes. $750. That is 62 unicorn cakes. That is 1 month of our mortgage. My chest tightens in the way cardiologists warned me about. But I breathe through it, count to 5. Remember Lila's face when she tried on the tail and yelled, "I can feel the ocean in my knees." I screenshot Cassidy's story, add it to tight, and start a spreadsheet because numbers do not lie. People do. I tell myself I am overreacting, that money is theirs to burn. That absence is still a gift if it keeps poison away from my kids. Then the invitation arrives. Thick envelope, gold foil, calligraphy that screams money spent on purpose. Inside, Mom's birthday bash, her 60th black tie, rooftop venue downtown. Champagne waterfall, oyster bar, live jazz. RSVP, card demands, dietary restrictions and shoe, size for surprise dancing. Stare at the date. Exactly 1 week after Lila and Milo's joint party. I laugh so hard Eli hears me from the driveway. I laugh because crying is dramatic and laughing is cheaper than therapy. I text Mom. Saw the invite. Looks fancy. Thought things were tight? She responds within seconds. Oh, honey, we saved all year for this. Life is short, I want to reply. Short for kids, too, but I type a thumbs up instead. I screenshot the exchange, add it to tight, and feel the folder grow teeth. Eli suggests we go eat our weight in oysters, toast to irony. I consider it. But the thought of dressing my babies like dolls so they can watch Grandma Pop bottles makes my stomach knot. I decline politely, claim schedule conflict, and Mom answers with a voice note, relieved sigh. Maybe next year you can plan the kids' party around our events. I play it 3 times, each time hearing a new layer of entitlement wrapped in silk. That night I cannot sleep. I open the spreadsheet, tally screenshots, brunch 120, shoes 750, facial 200, new iPhone 100, rooftop rental quoted at 8,000 minimum, total flaunted 10,170, total needed for my kids, dream day 147. I stare at the gap until numbers blur. I close the laptop, whisper to the dark, okay then, let's play. I start gently. I create a private Instagram story titled, Budget Ballin', Post 1, Lila modeling her pillowcase tail, price tag 12 dangling like a medal. Post 2, Milo stomping in cardboard dino feet, total cost 0, joy level extreme. Post 3, Eli grilling hot dogs, caption oyster-free waterfall. I tag no one, but I know Mom and Cassidy watch, because social media is a window you pretend not to peek through. Within an hour, Cassidy replies with a laughing, crying emoji, cute, sis. Needs better lighting. I screenshot the reply, add it to tight, and smile a smile that does not reach my eyes. Days tick, party prep speeds up. I sew sequins until fingertips bleed until sequins shine brighter. Milo paints dinosaur spikes neon orange, same shade as Cassidy's sneakers. I film it slow-mo, let the color mock her. I post a boomerang, Milo roaring, tail whipping, caption land before debt. I hashtag $tight but right and watch the views. Climb. Mom unfollows me, screenshot, folder, boom. Invitation list for my kids' party. 12 classmates. 3 neighbors. 1 retired teacher who brings homemade cookies. Invitation list for Mom's gala. 250 guests. Live band, corporate sponsors. I consider crashing, but crashing is messy and I prefer clean exits. Instead, I mail a gift, wrapped in dollar. Tree paper that still smells like the truck that delivered it. Inside, a framed photo of Lila and Milo wearing their creations. Mermaid tail spread like fins, dino head roaring, both kids mid-jump caught in flight. Frame cost $4.97. I enclose a note. Calligraphy printed free online. Life is short. Thank you for teaching us how to stretch. It with love instead of bubbles. I sign it from the kids, add a kiss emoji, and feel the paper grow weight. Simultaneously, I email the museum that now houses the original starfish heart cells. I ask if they accept private event rentals. They do, rooftop garden, 250 guests max. Same jazz band Mom booked, half the price. Proceeds fund pediatric cardiac research. I reserve the night before Mom's gala. Send evits to every cousin, aunt, uncle, plus Mom's own guest list. BCC invisible, polite. Subject line, celebrate the Heart Kid's birthday. And groundbreaking science, 1 night only. I mention open bar donated by a local brewery. Oysters supplied by Eli's carpenter friend who moonlights on a fishing boat. I promise a champagne toast, cheap Prosecco, but nobody reads labels after 2 glasses. RSVP flood begins within minutes. I forward confirmations to Mom's event planner. Subject, updated headcount. Overlap. Please coordinate dietary. Chaos is a domino line. You only need to tap once. Day arrives. Morning. My backyard erupts in laughter. Kids paint dinosaur eggs. Lila swims across grass in her tail. Eli flips burgers that cost less than 1 mimosa. I live stream it on public Instagram. Tag every sponsor Mom flaunted. Thank them for supporting humble joy. Views explode. Comments pour, this looks more fun than black tie. Real family goals. Oysters are overrated anyway. I screenshot every comparison. Save them smile. Afternoon. We caravan downtown. Carpool, eco-friendly, budget chic. Museum rooftop sparkles, fairy lights, Eli strung himself. Jazz trio plays acoustic versions of Disney songs. Kids chase fireflies between exhibits. Adults clink Prosecco, slurp dollar oysters, rave about the cause. I give a short speech, no microphone needed, just lungs that finally work. I say, thank you for choosing love over labels, presence over pretense. Every beat here funds a child's tomorrow. Applause is genuine. Cameras flash, donors wipe eyes. I feel the folder tight unzip inside me, release pressure like steam. Night deepens. Guests begin to drift toward Mom's gala 1 block away. Same band, same oysters, same jazz, but now they carry the afterglow of charity and cheap bubbles. They enter her venue laughing, comparing notes, already half in love with thrift. I stay behind, help clean, sweep firefly wings into trash bags that once held dinosaur cardboard. Eli kisses my forehead, whispers, "You just turned their champagne into tap water." I laugh, a sound that finally reaches my eyes. Mom texts at 1 a.m. "Party was lovely, thanks for the heads-up overlap." Crowd seemed distracted. I respond with a single photo. Lila and Milo asleep in the truck, tails and spikes draped across them like armor. Faces peaceful, dreams loud. I add no words. I screenshot her read receipt, drop it into tight, and close the folder forever. Weeks later, Mom posts a photo, her gala. Half-empty tables, leftover oysters packed into take-home boxes. Caption, "Intimate still sparkles. Likes are few. Comments are pity." Cassidy's sneakers appear. Scuffed in the background. Turns out, orange shows wear when you have to walk blocks because valet got overwhelmed by the earlier charity rush. I feel nothing except the soft thump of my own heart, steady, surgical, free. One night I find Lila awake, moonlight painting her pillow. She asks, "Mom, why did Grandma skip our party?" I sit, brush hair from her eyes, choose truth wrapped in kindness. Because sometimes adults forget how to count joy. We reminded them. She nods, touches the replica pendant at her throat, smiles. We rich in effort, right? I kiss her forehead, whisper, "And that baby is the tightest budget of all." Man, you have no idea how loud silence can be when it is paid for with $47 and change, and the echo drowns out every champagne flute that ever tried to clink your child's heartbeat into nothing. Stay till the last breath, because the scholarship fund just sent me an acceptance letter and I never applied. I thought silence was the end. Silence is just the hallway. Turns out the scholarship I launched with the leftover tight money grew teeth while I was not looking, and now it wants to chew on every heart in the family tree. 6 months after the museum heartbeat went public, the Starfish Heart Fund sits at $1.2 million, royalties from the Cell Patch, small donations from parents who watched the viral video, one anonymous wire for exactly that 8,000 now that arrives every 30 days with memo, MVP refund. I assume it is a well-wisher. I never assume it is Mason, because prisoners earn 11 cents an hour folding laundry. Still, the amount repeats like a dribble I cannot escape. The fund's board, me, Eli, Dr. Carver, and a lawyer who smells like paper cuts, decides to offer 4-year full rides. Tuition, housing, a stipend for ritual armor, lab joke for whatever talisman keeps a kid alive. Applications pour in, essays, EKG printouts, crayon drawings of broken siblings. Reading them feels like swallowing glass that somehow also tastes like hope. We choose 5 recipients for the first cohort. One of them is named G. Hart. I laugh so hard the lawyer asks if I need water. The application lists Nevada Youth Correctional as home address. Age 26, essay title, "How I Taught My Sister's Heart to Beat Me." I stop laughing. I drive to the prison because curiosity is stronger than self-preservation. Guards pat me down, skip the wand over my scar like it is a secret they already know. In the visitation room, Mason sits, wrists cuffed, orange jumpsuit baggy, face thinner than I remember. His first words, I applied to give it back. I ask what it is. He says the rhythm, the 11, the echo. His voice cracks like old drywall. He tells me he started the transfers, 11,000 every month, money earned from selling hand-painted greeting cards to inmates' families, paintings of basketballs cracked open like eggs, yolk spilling into heart-shaped puddles. Apparently, the warden's wife hung one in her office. Orders exploded. He makes $11 a card, paints 100 cards a month, sends every cent to the fund that grew from the silver he once tried to crush. I feel the room tilt. I ask why he used the MVP refund memo. He shrugs, eyes wet. Because you refunded me, taught me what value actually looks like. The guard shifts, uncomfortable with emotion. Mason continues, he has been studying biology textbooks, donated by the prison literacy program, can now pronounce cardiomyocyte smoother than he ever pronounced. 3-pointer. He designed a curriculum for the juvenile wing, 4 weeks on how hearts work, How words can stop them, how silver can restart them. He ends with, "If I get this scholarship, I will become a perfusionist, the person who keeps hearts alive on the table. I want to keep yours alive forever, even if you never speak to me again." I stand to leave because oxygen is suddenly optional. He calls after me, voice breaking like the monitor the night he left me in the car. "Sloan, let me be the bench you rest your pulse on." I walk out, sign no papers, say no answer, but the image follows me home like a second heartbeat. Board meeting convenes. We vote 3-1 to deny. My vote is the abstention that breaks the tie. The lawyer reminds me nepotism clauses exist for a reason. Dr. Carver reminds me cells do not lie, they simply beat. Eli reminds me forgiveness is cheaper than therapy, but pricier than pride. I drive to the ocean at sunset. Clutch the broken dolphin pendant he sent years ago. Consider hurling it into the waves. Instead, I mail it back to the prison with a single sheet of EKG paper. No note. No return, just the flat line of the moment I almost died, followed by the rise that came after. He receives it, hangs it on his cell wall, paints the exact pattern onto 100 new cards, sells them in 24 hours. The warden writes me, "Inmate Hart now leads meditation for arrhythmia patients. Teaches them to breathe through spikes. To count to 5 to survive the tunnel." I do not reply, but I save the letter in a new folder labeled Heartbeat. Month 11 arrives. The anonymous wire does not. Panic flutters through the board. Donors notice patterns like hawks notice limps. 3 days late, the bank pings, transfer initiated from a different routing number, same amount. Memo changed to free throw. I call the prison. Mason is in solitary shanked during a basketball tournament over a foul call. He lost a tooth, gained 7 stitches, and used his own blood to paint a starfish on the cell wall before guards dragged him out. The warden sends a photo, crude, red, unmistakable. I feel the old skip in my chest, but this time it lands on beat, like the muscle finally found its missing piece. I drive back. Solitary visitation is through glass, phone crackling like fire. Mason's lip is split, eye swollen, but his voice is steady. "I missed the wire," he says. "They took my brushes." I still had my pulse. He tells me he painted the starfish with a toothbrush shaved down, used his own plasma because acrylic is not allowed in solitary, waited for it to dry, then pressed his palm to the wall so the shape would stay even when they power washed. He says, "I finally understand some art costs blood. Some apologies do too." I ask if he wants me to bail him out. He laughs, a sound that does not belong behind concrete. "I am already out of excuses, out of lies, out of games. Let me serve the time. Just do not let the fun stop beating. Promise me that." I promise, because promises are free, but I keep them like diamonds. Board meets again. We table Mason's application until release. Parole hearing in 18 months. I create a clause. Any applicant with a violent felony must complete restitution and mentorship inside. Must show proof of cellular restitution. Literal heart cells helped by the patch. Only one inmate on Earth can meet that bar. The clause is retroactive. I name it the Heart Accountability Rider. Nobody votes against it. Nobody realizes I just built a door shaped like my brother until the door is already hung. Month 18. Parole day. Mason walks out wearing a donated suit, carrying a folder of painted cards, a certificate in cardiac literacy, and a letter from the warden stating he has raised $67,000 for pediatric defibrillators through his art. He approaches me in the parking lot. Sunlight too bright for both of us. He asks if I am there to drive him to the scholarship interview. I shake my head, hand him a bus ticket, a map, and a silver medical bracelet, his old size, polished to mirror. I tell him the interview is 200 miles away at the university hospital. He must hand-deliver a portfolio of his paintings to the review board. Walk every mile, no rides, no shortcuts. He must listen to his own heartbeat on a portable monitor I provide. Record every spike, every calm, and present the data alongside the art. If he arrives by foot, they will consider the application. If he falters, the door stays closed. He takes the ticket, looks at the bracelet like it is a handcuff made of light, and says, "I will walk until the road learns my name." I do not hug him. I drive away, heart steady, windows down, radio off, listening to the echo of a promise beating somewhere ahead of him. Week 1. He uploads daily vlogs from burner phones bought with painting money. Miles click by, blisters pop, sunburn peels. He speaks to the camera like it is a confession booth. Day 3. Heart spiked at mile 9. Remembered leaving her in the car. wanted to quit, kept walking. Viewers multiply. Strangers fund new shoes, new brushes, new paint. He paints on discarded pizza boxes, leaves them roadside. Each box contains a starfish, a heartbeat line. The words keep going. Homeless people find them, sell them on eBay for hundreds. The fund grows without my touch. Week 3, he reaches the university, shoes shredded, feet bleeding, smile wider than any I have seen on him since age 12. He hands the review board a thumb drive. 200 hours of heartbeat. Audio layered over time-lapse videos of him painting with blood, sweat, and once tears. The panel listens through headphones. Some cry, some clap. They award the scholarship on the spot. Full ride. Stipend included, hard accountability, writer satisfied. News outlets label it the walk of beat. I watch from my living room. Lila on my lap, Milo building a cardboard university on the carpet. She whispers, "Mom, is Uncle Mace coming home?" I answer, "He is already home. He just had to walk through himself to find the door." Last twist arrives unannounced. The silver medical bracelet I gave him contains a microsensor, prototype from the lab, recording every beat. Uploading to the server, I still watch at 2 a.m. The data reveals something the panel never sees, on mile 147. Exact spot where I coded in the car years ago. His heart flatlined for 2.7 seconds, then restarted in perfect sync with mine. 200 miles away while I slept. Scientists call it coincidence. I call it the moment the storm finally swallowed its own tail. I drive to campus move-in day. He stands in line, duffel bag painted with galaxies, bracelet flashing under sun. He sees me, freezes like I might disappear. I walk over, place my palm on his chest, feel the rhythm, steady, surgical, free. I say, "Do not break this one. It is on loan from a child who thought you were a monster." He nods, tears falling without sound. I remove the bracelet, clasp it on his wrist, tighter than forgiveness, looser than debt. I tell him, "When you graduate, you will walk again, this time beside me, 200 miles back to her porch. If your heart stays synced the whole way, we will call it even." He promises, because promises are free, but this time they cost blood miles, and starfish painted in plasma. I walk away, heart beating once, twice, then locking into a rhythm I have never felt, his pulse and mine, stereo across distance, a duet of survivors who learned the only way to pay back. A heartbeat is to keep someone else's alive forever. Man, you have no idea how loud the world gets when 2 heartbeats finally line up, one that almost stopped, one that finally started, and the echo drowns out every champagne flute that ever tried to clink your life into nothing. Subscribe, because next week I will live stream the first mile of that 200-mile walk, and you can set your own pulse to the rhythm of a promise that refuses to break.